Hello everyone! I decided that while my last tutorials were rather nice and I'm very proud of them, I thought it's a little strange to just have a disembodied voice speaking to you. So for the future tutorials I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be adding my lovely face to the videos. And until I figure out a better solution for subtitling for the hearing impaired, I figure at least having my face will help with the hearing impaired. They could read my lips and get, they can enjoy the videos as well. For this particular tutorial, we're going to touch on something that I've seen a lot of younger artists kind of fudge up as well, along with the black sclera eyes, and that's fire. Fire is a very hard thing to work with, just like ice, just like any kind of element, honestly, but fire is especially difficult because you have to make it look like you can see through the flames, but still make it look realistic, and that's really difficult for younger artists to get right. It took me a very long time to figure out how to do it right. So hopefully this tutorial will help those out who just don't know how to do it or are trying to learn how to do it, and maybe my method will help them out. So let's get started. This particular image we have here, it's a very lovely lady, and I wanted to turn her into like a wizard or a magician. She's got a perfect hand standing out, just waiting for flame to be put in the hand. So that's what we're going to do. The images that I'm using for the flame were provided by cgtextures.com. If you ever need free stock, by all means go and visit them. I'll put a link in the description so you can go check out the site. They have a limit for how many you can download, but as long as you're not, bulk downloading them, you should be fine. But they have excellent stock. Definitely check them out. So the images that we're going to be using are these four right here. And as you can see, they've already got a bit of a ball of flame thing going on. So it'll be rather easy to put them together into one cohesive ball of flame. So that's what we're going to do. Especially helps when the flames are on a black background. It'll make blending much easier and give you less of a headache. Trust me. So we're going to start with the first image. We're just going to click on it, drag it over to our image, and as you can see, it's a lot bigger than we need, but that's perfect. We want it to be high res. If you're going to do flames, it's got to be a high-res image. That's why I suggested going to CG Textures, because they have high-res images available for things like this. If you use a low-res image, it's going to look like cock-a-doo-doo, and it's going to be completely obvious that it's fake. So we're going to go to Edit, Transform, Scale. We're just going to scale it down, and I'm going to hold down the Shift key. As you can see, if I don't hold down the Shift, just kind of goes all over the place. When you hold down Shift, it keeps the proportions as you scale it down. And I think that's about a good size right there for what we need. We're just going to place it right there. We're going to go to our magnifying glass. We're going to zoom in so we can see the hand closer. That's about right. Go to our Move tool. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the Layers panel. We're going to go to the Blending mode. We're going to change Normal to Screen. Now already you're getting a good idea of what this is going to look like. However, as you can see, the flames are going over her fingers. We don't want that. So the next step is to click on the layer, make sure it's selected in the Layers menu, go down to the bottom of your Layers menu and click on Add a Mask. Make sure that the mask is selected. You've got the little white lines around the mask. Go to your paintbrush tool. Make sure the hardness is 0 and the size is, well, it's relative to the hand or whoever you're going to be using this effect on. If you're going to be putting it in someone's hand. If you're doing it for something else, you would use a brush that's according to what you need. That's about right. Make sure your opacity is 100%. Let's move this right into place. There we go. And we're just going to erase this out. And as you can see, that's starting to look a little bit better. You don't have this fake looking fire kind of flowing all over the place. You want to keep it within the confines of her hand. Now that we've already got this selection done, we can now use this as the basis for the rest of the fire. Just like in the last tutorial with the black sclera eyes, you can use clipping mask to make sure all the fire that you add in afterward is confined to this selection. So that's a good thing about clipping mask. Let's go to our second image and let's bring that one in. Click on it, drag it over, and just pop it in. This one's a little bit smaller, so let's zoom out. Oops. minus. Yes, minus. There we go. Go to Edit, Transform, Scale, hold down Shift. Let's scale it back. Oh, that's about right. I'm also going to go to Edit, Transform, Rotate. And just kind of rotate it around this way, just so it kind of is going, I think maybe around there looks better. Yeah, it looks a lot better. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to set it to screen. And as you can see, if I were to move it around, it shows up over her hand. However, now we right click on the layer and choose Create Clipping Mask, and voila. The selection we had created on the previous layer is now allowing us to keep it within the confines of behind those fingers. So now it doesn't look like it's floating all over the place. We're going to keep going with the rest of the images. We're just going to keep on building this fire, keep on making it look realistic. Let's set this to screen. As you can see, it already added it to the clipping mask. So that's what we're going to do. We need to rescale it. Let me turn off the clipping mask because at the moment I can't see what's going on, and that sometimes happens. You just release it and now you can actually see it. Let's zoom back out so we can see the image. Scroll down, go to Edit, Transform, Scale, hold down Shift, and just scale it back. And decide what a good size would be. And right about there. I think for this one in particular, we're going to flip it horizontal, because I think those flames would look better going the other direction. We're going to go to Edit, Transform, Flip Horizontal. Edit, Transform, Rotate. There we go. So now we've got some flames going in the other direction as well. And as you can see, even with just adding a few layers, you're getting this this illusion that it's a big ball of flame. And it doesn't look like this big fake, you know, strange, I don't know. I've seen fire that looks absolutely terrible. This looks okay, I think. You know, it's up to you if you think it looks good or not. All right. I was going to add the fourth image, but I don't think it's actually necessary. I think we've got a nice ball of flame going on right now. But we also have to remember to add the clipping mask to that layer as well. Now, what's missing is kind of a core in the center here. You know, fire doesn't just spring up from nothing. It has to have the core, the actual ball of flame that the flames are coming out of. So we're going to go back to our background layer, and we're going to add a new layer, and we're doing this so that it shows up underneath our flames. We're going to add ball, it would help if I could spell, ball of fire. Click OK, and we're just going to create a ball of fire. Simple as that. We're going to go to our default colors just so we can make sure we have everything nice and set. Double click on your foreground color. Let me do that again. Double click here and you'll get this color picker menu. Maybe like an orange or a yellow, whatever you desire, something that matches the color that's going on in there. We're going to be building up layers of color, so you don't have to worry about it too much right now. Let's put our size at something respectable. Something would look like a ball of flame. That's about right. And we're just going to tap right in there. Let's add some more colors, some little variation. There we go. Now it looks like it has an actual meat to it. There's a ball of flame sitting in that hand. However, now we fall into the same issue we had before. The color is falling over the fingers. And there's a simple solution to that. One of the nice features of Photoshop is that you can duplicate layer masks from one layer to another. So that's what we're going to do. What we're going to do is we're going to hold down the Option key. And we're just going to drag that mask down to our ball of fire. And as you can see, when we disable the layer mask, the color is there. When we click on it again, the layer mask comes back. So let's zoom out and see what we've got. Let's go to our magnifying glass. Just zoom out. As you can see, I think that looks pretty good. And it's rather simple. The problem I've seen with a lot of people who use fire is that they just throw the image on there, or they try to select around the flames, and there's just easier ways of doing it that makes it look more realistic. And I think that actually gives you a pretty good result. Now, if we wanted to take it a step further, we would add highlights to her face. We would make sure that the glow from the fire is affecting the lighting on her face. But I think that's something for another tutorial. If you want me to do that, I can always just save this file and let me know in the comments if you want me to go into detail with that. But for right now, I think this is a pretty good ending to the tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. If you got any tips and tricks, feel free to add them in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!